So, bukod po doon yung boots on ground na na-mention ko kanina na talaga pong gagala at talaga pong magsa-spot checking nitong ating mga providers.
Sunod po na tanong, Michelle Gilang, All TV.
Good afternoon po, Sected. My question is a different topic. We are aware of a surge of super flu cases in the United Kingdom and in the US. Given this risk of super flu, what is the Department of Health doing to protect Filipinos from this?
Okay, so flu is a seasonal infectious disease. Actually, we've detected the super flu here since we reviewed our epidemiology bureau's surveillance of flu cases, and we've actually detected about July, August, about 17 cases that were determined to be of the new subclass of the super flu. Um, all of them have recovered. So as you very well know, flu is a self-limiting illness unless meron kang medical condition, may cancer ka, may elderly ka. So we still recommend the use of the flu vaccine. Although yung super flu, yun yung sinasabi nila, it is able to avoid the flu vaccine. So kaya nga mas maraming serious conditions in North America and the UK where there is winter. So malamig na malamig kasi doon ngayon. So mas matindi yung flu cases nila. Our flu season actually is during the rainy season sa Philippines. So iba tayo. We have in our vaccine actually carries that influenza A, the Southern Hemisphere vaccine. It contains that vaccine. So as long as makapagpa-vaccinate yung high risk, if you're a young individual, you get flu, the same precautions, public health precautions. If you're sick, stay at home. If you're infected, you have upper respiratory infection, you should cover your face with a face mask. And then better stay at home and then recover para you don't spread the flu.
Secretary, just a follow up. When you detected the 17 cases of super flu in July and August, what interventions did the Department of Health do?
We only detected that after the review when that was announced by the US. We found out that in our surveillance of diseases, lumalabas na pala yun. This is Metro Manila, no? Metro Manila. But all have recovered. So it's part of, you see, ang flu, madaming variants yan. So we try to detect, there are about 80 plus variants, I think. And what they do with the vaccine is the WHO has this methodology to predict which ones are the most probable. In fact, the vaccine you get for going to North America is different from the vaccine we give here in the Southern Hemisphere based on predictive models yan. So hindi binibigay lahat ng variants. Only what they predict will be the epidemic for that year. So ganun ang production ng flu. So ang advice namin sa flu talaga is still public health precautions, cover your mouth and nose pag uubo ka. If you're immunocompromised, get the flu vaccine. Yun.
Sunod po na tanong, Chloe Fana, Business World.
To Mr. Mercado, sir, nabanggit niyo po kanina yung fraud control measures. So, a recent PIDS study called for an overhaul of PhilHealth's fraud control measures, calling for a shift to a proactive approach and an expansion of definitions amid a transition to a global budget setup. Is PhilHealth planning on implementing this, and what kind of changes will PhilHealth make to its fraud control measures?
So, meron nga pong pag-aaral na nilabas ang Philippine Institute for Developmental Study. Pero ito nga po, gaya ng nabanggit ni Sected, medyo dated nung previous years. So ngayong taong ito po, marami po kaming nilagay ng mga gates. Kumbaga po, may mga pre-authorization, merong pre-validation para maiwasan. Kasi mas maganda po na preemptive yung pagsasala natin kung ano po yung mga i-cover natin kaysa na-deliver na yung care, tapos lalo na kung nabayaran na namin, tsaka namin hahabulin. So yun po, sinistrengthen namin. So meron na po tayong isasagawa within this quarter na parang AI-enabled na pre-validation ng mga claims. Kapag pinasok po yung e-claims, madidetect na po kung nagmamatch yung diagnosis dun sa mga lab test na ginawa. So basically po, doon pa lang ma-flag na po namin kung ano po yung potentialing hindi karapat-dapat. Pero ang mas importante po, preemptively, yung nga pong mga pasyente natin na mapaliwanagan kung ano po yung mga serbisyo at saka yung mga benepisyong kailangan nakukuha nila. Maglalagay po kami ng ah, mga posters po ngayon sa hospitals na ito po yung karapatan nyo pag no balance bill or basic accommodation kayo at ano kayo ng Z package, dapat wala kayong bayaran dito sa mga accredited na hospitals. Kasi yung asymmetry of information na yon yung minsan nagkakaroon din po ng problema. So yun po, pinapalakas namin yung aming communication program. Maglalagay po kami ng mga ah, gates para po ayusin at saka po yung AI, gamit ng AI. At i-inform po namin yung mga pasyente kung ano po yung kanilang mga benepisyong dapat na tatamasa.
And sir, with the increased budget this year, how much could premium income increase as well?
Premium, hindi dapat.
So yung
increase.
pong budget yung premium income po ay usually galing dun sa mga direct members. Yun po yung mga employed and gainfully kaya magbayad. So hindi po yung sakop nung budget. Ang budget po ay dun sa ating indirect members o yung pong mga kababayan natin na walang kakayanan magbayad ng kanilang premium. So yun po ay base sa tala ng DSWD na kami po ay closely also coordinating. So in terms of the premium payment po, ang doon sa mga formal sector, ang pino-focus po namin ngayon efficiency. So talaga pong nakikipag-usap kami doon sa mga employers. Babaguhin din po namin this quarter na kami na po ang nagge-generate ng statement of account, for example, para pong billing statement ng credit card. Dati po ang nagge-generate yung employer Kaya hindi ho namin na-check. At least ngayon po, may na-check but randomly. Ngayon po kami magge-generate para mas malinaw po. So yun.
Sunod po ng tanong, Ace Romero, Philippine Star.
Secretary, may we get your reaction to reports that President Marcos is seeking your replacement allegedly because of the various issues that the DOH is facing?
There's no truth to that. I think Yusek Claire already said yesterday that there is no revamp of the cabinet. But we in the cabinet all serve at the pleasure of the president. So if ever the president wants to replace me, that is the prerogative of our president. We continue to fulfill all his mandates, zero balance billing, bukas centers, and all this focus on the higher budget is emphasis on health. So I think we will continue to pursue the mandates of the president with emphasis on better healthcare for all Filipinos.
Thank you, Secretary.
Last two question po, Eugene Fernandez, IBC 13.
Sir, gusto ko lang bumalik dun sa zero balance billing. Itanong ko lang, since you mentioned earlier that there's an additional 1 billion for the LGU for the zero balance billing and also another 1 billion para sa mga specialty hospitals. How much ba yung total ng budget ng DOH na i-assign for the zero balance billing?
I don't have the exact computation, but zero balance billing is fulfilled through the budget of the hospitals. So our MOOE, which is about 200 billion, our PS, which is about 100 billion, plus the MAIPIP, which is about 51 billion, 50 plus billion. So all of this will be used for, plus PhilHealth, because PhilHealth also pays for benefit. As of now, ang nakikita namin about 30% of the cost of hospitalization in the DOH hospital is paid for by PhilHealth. So malaking bagay sa amin yung reimbursement nila of services rendered to the patients. So pag binabalik nila yun, naro-roll yun namin yun. So there's a revolving fund. Also, there's another source of fund we call the retained budgets. So in the special provisions, the DOH hospitals, unlike LGU hospitals, DOH hospitals are able to retain income. So if there is extra budget, we do not return it to Treasury. We actually retain it and roll it to buy more medicines, give it as supply. So binabalik namin yan as services. So these are the sources of funds. So in other words, we are able to provide zero balance through multiple sources of funds. Very important yan. LGU, so we can now continue to support that now that we're able to do it in DOH hospitals. And we had a 20% increase in patients going to DOH basic accommodation. So now we feel to fulfill universal health coverage, kailangan talaga mag-zero balance din sa LGU run hospitals. So the 1 billion in the fund for MyPIP, which is actually a pilot project on how much we will cost. as we understand how much will be uh, needed to be utilized in LG hospitals, we can request for the proper. In the future, what we can see is that the MAIPIP will decrease as we're able to increase zero balance billing in both DOH and LGU hospital. Kasi isipin nyo, hindi mo na kailangan ng MAIP kung zero balance ka sa both LGU and DOH hospital. Just go to the government hospital. And if you have money, you go to the private hospital.
So, gusto ko lang din pa i-clarify naman yung sa MAIF. Kasi since you mentioned earlier na parang you encourage people to go directly to DOH para humingi ng, request letters, guarantee letters, or I mean, hindi nyo naman po sinabi na guarantee letters, na para sa mabawasan or mapababa yung kanilang gastusin. Gusto ko lang itanong, sir, so bawal sa private hospitals na mga na-admit sa private hospitals na dumiretso sa inyo to ask for assistance?
So in the IRR that we're drafting for the support fund to LGU hospitals, sa MAIP, we are going to use basic accommodation and semi-private. Pero kung naka-suite room ka at single room, palagi ko hindi ka qualified to use medical assistance fund from your tax money. Tax money niyan. I will use it for people who are siguro nagpa-admit sa basic accommodation in the private hospital. So 10% of private hospitals are supposed to have basic accommodation. So we can support that. PhilHealth will pay for part of the case rate, and then we can also support that. So yun yung isang methodology namin on the excess capacity. Pagka napupuno na ang DOH hospital, I told my hospital directors to have an agreement with the nearby private hospital who are willing to take in our patients for admission para ma-admit, and then we will support it with zero balance support fund.
And last question na po. Itanong ko lang, since we are drafting the new IRR for the MAIF, aren't we considering to, since we are asking about yung bawal yung EPAL, yung mga politicians, pagdating sa pagbibigay ng medical assistance on banning yung mga request nga from politicians na ibibigay sa DOH para mabigyan sila ng medical assistance through MAIF, ayaw nyo ba na parang i-ban mga bagay?
We follow the law. The law says bawal yung mga signages and everything. We will follow what is written in the law. So the IRR cannot be more than the law. It's only what the law says, and then we will just elucidate yung details of how it will be implemented.
Kasi sir, parang I asked that question kasi nga kanina, we are still standing. Kasi yung mga tao
No,
madalas silang pumila.
Can I interrupt you? Ang premise nyo kasi may GL pa rin. Wala nang GL because may zero balance na eh. The reason we put up the zero balance billing is so that wala na, hindi ka na dadaan sa politiko. And I've met some of the patients, I've gone my rounds in DOH hospitals. Hindi sila dumadaan sa politiko, dumidiretso sila, pumila sila sa outpatient department ng hospital namin at nagpa-admit. May trabaho, narinig nila yung zero balance at wala silang binayaran nung naoperahan sila at nakauwi sila. So as long as we inform people na zero balance billing na po sa basic accommodation sa DOH hospital, there is no need to go to an elected official.
Okay po.
Last the question, Ivan Mayrina, GMA7.
Secretary, you mentioned you were happy about Section 19. Dahil bago ho ito,
Yes.
pre-Section 19, what was your experience as Secretary? And then how do you intend moving forward to insulate the DOH and follow this Section 19? Since it only says that politicians are not allowed to be involved in the distribution, but that doesn't prevent them from writing you request letters or whatever letter, hindi lang tawag siguro guarantee letter.
My thinking is that with the zero balance billing policy, there is less need to go to an elected official for healthcare. That's the concept of the executive department saying na we will provide the assistance. You give the money and we will provide the healthcare. So gusto mo magpa-opera sa heart center, we will help you get admitted in a heart center and be operated on kung kailangan ng operation. So there is no need to go to an elected official if you have a medical problem. If you have a medical problem, you go to a government hospital and the government personnel there will take care of you.
So again, kung halimbawa ho, tumawag si Kong, tumawag si Senador, tumawag ko si kung sino, si Gob, si Mayor, are you going to take a different stance and just tell them na may zero balance billing na tayo? You know.
No, what we will do is to help their patient. If they have a patient that requires patient navigation. So you're now going towards what is called patient navigation. And I need the media's help because the healthcare is very complex. Pag kayo nagkasakit, di nyo alam kung saan pupunta eh. Di ba? Kung may condition ka, masakit ang buto mo, balakang mo, may kidney, you don't know where to go. So some of these people, ang kilala nila is the elected official. So they go to the elected official. So I'm trying to change that with my Public Health Promotion Bureau to try to inform people. May show nga ako eh. Every Saturday, I talk to the people to explain about diseases. If people know how to get healthcare, they wouldn't go to an elected official. They would go straight to the doctor. They would go straight to a Bucas Center, straight to a DOH hospital, straight to the heart center. So ang key is I think our problem is health literacy. Many of the Filipino people do not know what to do when they get help. So the primary care program of PhilHealth is a very important method kasi ang magna-navigate sa'yo is your primary care physician. The primary that's universal health coverage. Wala ka nang iisipin, hindi ka na kailangan pumunta sa politiko or some other person for assistance.
Sec, panghuli na lang po. Mawawala na ho ba mga malasakit centers?
Batas din yan eh. Batas din yan that was also created by law that consolidated. Mari-repurpose siguro siya. I think what's going to happen is it will be our area where we can do patient navigation. Ang nasa malasakit center by law are PhilHealth, nandoon ang PhilHealth. So malalaman mo kung magkano makukuha mo sa PhilHealth. Number 2, DOH. So malalaman mo kung anong makukuha mo MAIP. So you can still go to a malasakit center to get the MAIPIP. And number 3, DSWD. Yung DSWD, nagbibigay yun ng AIX. Yung AIX, binibigay yun kasi hindi namin masagot yung pamasahe noong pamilya pauwi dun sa barangay nila. Kung kailangan nilang pamasahe, libre nga sila, zero balance, but the DOH cannot pay for your taxi or your ride home. So ang tumutulong doon, DSWD. And then meron pang isa, PCSO, I think, is the other agency that sits there. That's under the Office of the President. Nagbibigay ng mga outpatient medicines pa naman siguro yun. But hopefully yung gamot program could help support even the outpatient medicines.
Para po sa huling katanungan, Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi sir, Secretary, yung sa akin para for the record lang po. About the super flu, the DOH does not find it concerning, or at least how alarming is this?
Not alarming, but there is a new variant out there. So I think the warning I will give is for Filipinos that will travel to the temperate countries, that will go to North America, to the UK. If you're going there, be knowledgeable that there is a spread of super flu in that area. Maybe get the Northern Hemisphere vaccine. That's my best advice for them. Kung magta-travel kayo, bibisita kayo sa kamag-anak nyo sa malamig winter places, get the shot. The Northern Hemisphere shot, not the Southern Hemisphere shot.
Sir, last, I do not know if this is covered, if this is under DOH, but there are reports na meron daw mga people deprived of liberty na nagkakahawaan ng tuberculosis inside the Lingayen Provincial Jail. I don't know if this is under DOH or LGU. Ang intervention ba and assistance should come from DOH? Paano po yung pwedeng?
We can assist, no? Lingayen, that's in Pangasinan. So we will assist. We've done that in Metro Manila, sa Manila City Jail. Nagkaroon tayo ng outbreak of tuberculosis and we started diagnosing and treating them. So we have the methodology. So what we can do is mag-coordinate lang siguro yung BJMP with our regional office. We have a hospital in Dagupan, yung Region 1 Medical Center. We can help that Lingayen. Immediately after this, I will call my kaka-retire lang pala ng regional director ko sa Region 1, the OIC for Region 1 to help Lingayen Jail. Lingayen Jail. Yeah, so this is our problem with the PDLs. They are in confined spaces and as you very well know, maglagay ka ng isang TB patient dyan, magkakahawahan talaga because of the congestion. So we need to diagnose them and separate the TB patients.
Maraming salamat po. That's the last question, Yusek.
Thank you very much. Secretary Ted Herbosa and PhilHealth President and CEO Dr. Edwin Mercado. Papasalamatan din po natin. Nandito po si Dr. Ana Renolayan, ASEC, of course, Dr. Albert Domingo, and Director Tina Marasigan. Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Yusek.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Thank you. Salamat sa inyo. Zero balance na. Huwag nyo nang problemahin yung GL.
At bago tayo magtapos,
Masyadong sikat yung GL.
PNP at DILG tiniyak na puspusan ang preparasyon para sa pista ng Poong Nazareno. Alinsunod sa direktiba ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. na panatilihing payapa at makabuluhan ang idaraos na traslasyon, nakaalerto ang puwersa ng PNP, DILG at ibang ahensya ng gobyerno upang siguruhin ang kaligtasan ng mga dadalo sa nasabing kaganapan. Ayon sa tala ng pulisya, aabot sa 18,212 uniformed personnel ang idideploy sa mga lokasyon na pagdarausan ng pista ng Poong Nazareno. Makakaasa sa increased police presence and visibility ang mga debotong lalahok sa traslasyon, lalo na sa 3 major areas. Sa Quirino Grandstand, sa buong ruta ng daraanan ng prosesyon, at sa Quiapo Church na huling destinasyon ng imahe ng Poong Nazareno. Ipinag-utos ni PNP Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. sa mga tropa ng kapulisan na maging alerto, mahinahon at makatao sa pagsiserbisyo sa kapwa Pilipino. Para din sa dagdag seguridad, magpapatupad ng no-fly zones ang PNP malapit sa pagdarausan ng traslasyon habang may cellphone signal jammers din bilang additional preventive measure. Nagpaalala naman ang DILG sa mga lalahok na maging alerto at iwasang magdala ng mga matatalim at nakakasugat na bagay, mga paputok at pyrotechnic devices, mga lalagyang babasagin at iba pang ipinagbabawal na kagamitan. Mahigpit ding ipinagbabawal ang pagdadala ng armas gaya ng baril alinsunod sa ipinapatupad na gun ban sa lungsod ng Maynila. Naway maging matiwasay, ligtas at makabuluhan ang selebrasyon ng Pista ng Poong Nazareno para sa lahat ng deboto.
Noong nakaraang taon, umabot sa 8 milyong deboto ang lumahok na mas mataas kumpara sa 6 na milyon noong 2024. Abot sa 18,000 pulis at force multipliers ang nakadeploy sa translasyon sa darating na Enero 9. Unang inanunsyo ng National Capital Region Police Office ang signal jamming sa bisinidad. Simula naman sa January 8 ay may mga kalsada ng isasara.
Kundi bahagi ng pagbabagong buhay mula sa personal na pagsubok tungo sa aktibong paglilingkod sa kapwa.
At dito na po natatapos ang ating press briefing. Magandang araw para sa bagong Pilipinas.